Brothers and sisters, there comes a time when silence is no longer an option. A time when we must look our leaders in the eye and tell them that enough is enough. And that time is now. We all know about the Tembisa Hospital scandal. 2 billion rand stolen from a single public hospital while patients are turned away. Mothers give birth on the floor and doctors work without the most basic resources. We all remember Babita Deokaran, a woman of courage who stood up for what was right, who exposed this looting and who paid for it with her life. Babita was assassinated in cold blood for daring to fight corruption. To this day, the masterminds behind her murder walk free. We also know the names that have become symbols of everything broken in this country. Edwin Sodi paid billions upfront for projects that were never completed. A man at the center of scandal after scandal, and yet he is still not in jail. He flaunts his wealth, drives his luxury cars, lives in his mansions, while the poor suffer without houses, without clean water, without hope. We know Tebogo Malaka, the former CEO of the Independent Development Trust, the woman who stole more than 800 million through fraudulent tenders, money that was meant to build schools and clinics. Instead of classrooms, those children still sit under trees. Yet Malaka too walks free. No jail, no justice. The president's nephew, Hangwani Maumela, and his associates are still walking free and living lavishly after stealing more than 2 billion rands from Tembisa Hospital. Instead of hospitals, communities are left to die. And while all this unfolds, Ramaphosa and the ANC remain silent. They will comment on far less. But when it comes to billions stolen and whistleblowers murdered, they retreat into silence. And what does silence mean? Silence is not ignorance. Silence is not forgetfulness. Silence is complicity. Yes, the SIU has spoken and the health minister has acknowledged the damage, but words without actions are meaningless. We know how this story goes. Reports are written, commissions are held, headlines are made. Then what? Nothing. Not one high-ranking politician goes to jail. Not one looter returns the money. Not one network of corruption is broken. And the truth is even more painful. We as South Africans are not angry enough. We rage for a day or two. We tweet, we TikTok, we complain, and then we move on. As if billions stolen from our people is just another story. But Babita Deokaran is not just another story. Children without schools are just not another story. Patients dying on hospital floor with no medicine are just not another story. Brothers and sisters, we need to speak the truth, no matter how painful. Our beloved country is bleeding, and the very leaders who sought to defend it are the ones holding the knife. We lived through the years of Jacob Zuma, years of state capture, where billions were stolen in broad daylight, where the Guptas ran this country like their private empire. And we told ourselves, never again. We thought with a new president, Cyril Ramaphosa, would see a new dawn, We thought the cancer of corruption would be cut out. And unfortunately, that didn't happen. Corruption has not ended under Ramaphosa. It has become quieter, more hidden, and more polite. Billions are still stolen. Whistleblowers are still murdered. Reports are still written. Commissions are still held. But no one goes to jail. The thieves remain free. Zuma was shameless in his corruption. He was active, aggressive, and open in enabling corruption. Ramaphosa is passive, evasive, silent, and silence is complicity. Ramaphosa is not clean. He may not have built a Gupta-style empire like Zuma, but his failure to act makes him an accomplice. He may not personally be the most corrupt, but his failure to act decisively makes him equally, if not more dangerous, because he legitimizes corruption by normalizing inaction. Prime examples are Phala-Phala scandal and the lack of prosecutions despite the Zondo Commission exposing mountains of evidence. The ANC of today is more corrupt than at any point in its 113 years history. A leadership that does not fight for the people, but for tenders, for contracts, and for personal wealth. Ministers, premiers, mayors are caught in endless scandals. Leaders enriching their families. Factions fighting not over ideology, but over access to state resources. It has shifted from a liberation movement to a patronage network. This is not the ANC of Oliver Tambo, Nelson Mandela, Walter Sisulu, or Chris Hani. This is not the movement that sacrificed everything for freedom. And the saddest truth is, we the citizens have allowed it. We have allowed a system to flourish where the poor go to jail for stealing bread, but the rich and politically connected walk free after stealing billions. Where whistleblowers are assassinated, but the thieves they expose are celebrated at elite parties. This is not democracy. This is not freedom. It's betrayal. South Africa, how much more will we tolerate? How many more Babitas must die? How many more billions must disappear before we rise and say enough? The time has come to demand accountability not from the small fish, but from the giants of corruption. To demand that Edwin Sodi, that Tebogo Malaka, that Hangwani Maumela, and every looter like them face real justice. To demand that the masterminds behind Babita's murder are exposed and jailed. To demand that those who steal from the poor are stripped of their wealth and dignity. We cannot be calm. We cannot be patient. We cannot be silent. Because every rent stolen is a classroom lost. Every bribe paid is a hospital bed gone. Every corrupt contract signed is another South African left to die without dignity. The choice is ours. We remain calm while corruption eats this country alive, or we rise, unite, and take back the future that belongs to us and our children. The time for calm has passed. The time for anger is here. The time for action is now. South Africa is our country, not the ANCs, not the politicians, not the tenderpreneurs, but ours. And if we don't stand up now, there will be nothing left to stand up for. We must act We must demand prosecutions for those who loot. We must not allow the NPA, Hawks, and SIU to drag their feet. When public pressure matters and outrage are sustained, action normally follows. We must protect whistleblowers with our voices, our protest, and our solidarity. We must vote not out of loyalty, but out of conscience. And we must organize in our communities, in our churches, in our workplaces, to make corruption costly for those who feed on it. Brothers and sisters, we once defeated apartheid, a system built on violence, greed, and injustice. Don't tell me we cannot defeat corruption. Don't tell me we cannot demand leaders who serve the people. And yes, we can fix this, but only if we stop being calm and passive about corruption and start acting with the same energy that once defeated apartheid. The time for calm has passed. The time for anger has come. The time for action is now. Let us rise, not tomorrow, not someday, but today.